Adjective is a describing words which always refers to a noun and a pronoun. That means adjective is a word which always give emphasis to noun and also a pronoun. That means we can say adjective is a word which always refers the quality, the quantity, the description of a noun, or the measurement, the place of a noun or a pronoun. Okay, so we all know what is adjective. It's very common to all of you, but what I am going to show you something in a unique way. I'm going to help you to understand the degrees of comparison. That means the 3 parts of adjectives in a practical way or in some practical examples, through some practical examples. Okay, so how many kind of, what are the classification of adjectives, or that means the degrees of comparison are basically divided into 3 parts. That is positive degree, number 2 is comparative degree, and number 3 is superlative degree. So let's discuss with the example of these 3 degrees. Okay, so let's we are now, first we take this card. If I say okay, that this red card is a big card, okay, it's a big card. So it's not a case of any kind of comparison. Okay, so it's a positive degree, so it's a big card. Big is a positive degree here. But when we compare this red card with this yellow card, then it's a comparison degree, because we are here compare this 2 card with each other. So it's a case of bigger. It's a big and it's a bigger. It's a positive degree, it's a comparative degree. But whenever we are talking about this card, that is biggest one, that means the superlative degree. Superlative means whenever we are compared with 2 objects or 2 persons or 2 things, then it's a case of comparative degree. But whenever we are going to compare more than 2, that is 3, 4 or whatever, then it's a case of superlative degree. So it's a biggest. So this one is big, it's a positive degree, it's bigger, that's a comparative degree, and it's biggest, it's a superlative degree. Now let's come to the second point. Second position mein dekho, second position, in second position we use this ruler. We use this ruler. It's thin, it's thinner, and it's thinnest. Okay, these 3 degrees are here. And come to the next point. This here are these 3 objects are here. This is 200 grams. So it's, if I suppose I take it's heavy, so it's not a comparison, it's not a case of comparison, so it's a positive case, a positive degree. And it's heavier. Why it's heavier? Because it's 500 degree more heavy than it. So there is a comparison between 200 and 500, and 500 is much more heavier. So it's heavier, much heavy and or more heavy than the 200 grams. So it's a heavier, it's a case of heavier. So it's a comparative degree, and it's 100 kilo, that means 1000 gram. So it's a case of heaviest, because it's heavy, because it's heaviest among these 3. Okay, so let's take the next example. If I take this puppy, it's a little puppy, so it's a case of strong animal. Okay, so strong, that means there is no comparison at all, so it's a positive degree. And whenever we turn to the next, it's a big dog, so it's much more stronger. So we compare here this puppy with this dog, so it's a stronger, that means it's a comparative degree. And turn to the next one, so it's a big tiger here, so it's strongest, it's a case of strongest, that means it's the superlative degree among these 3. Okay, next turn to this object. Next we take this example. It's a hard thing, it's a plastic made, so this stick is hard. Okay, but this ruler or this ruler is much harder than it, so it's comparatively in between these 2 objects, it's harder. And whenever we take this rod, this iron made rod, so it's a case of hardest object. Okay, so this one is hard, this one is harder, and this one is hardest. Next, turn to the next object. We can see here it's a tall thing, it's a tall object and it's a taller, comparatively it's taller, and this one is tallest. Okay, so then turn to the next things. Another example with these objects, it's a if I take this one, it's happy, and you can see the smiley faces are here. So we can say it's a happy face, and it's a happier face, and it's a happiest. Okay, so turn to the next one. Now next examples, the practical objects are here. Now we take this book, it's a thick book. Okay, you can see it's a thick book. But when we are going to compare this book with this book, so it's thicker. It's thicker, and the last one, that means the third one is thickest. So these are the examples of thick, thicker and thickest. Okay. Next, let's describe the next practical example, whatever we have. So it's a case of fat. This picture is it's a case of example of fat, that is a positive degree, and whenever we are going to compare this boy, that is a fatter. Okay, with in between two objects, it's a fatter, so it's a case of comparative degree. And this one, Kalia, so it's a case of superlative degree, it's fattest. Okay, so this is a fat, fatter and fattest here. Okay. And the next example is, what happened? Our room became bright, now brighter, and the next is brightest. So students, I hope you can understand, I am able to understand, I am able to make you understand in this video the degrees of comparison in these three parts actually. This is very easy and common to all. I hope all of you practice in your home with your home objects and with the practical objects, okay, and practice this exercise also, whatever is given in your grammar book. Thank you.